fork with a $20 salad. Looking like a dork with your $20 salad. You forgot to get a fork with your $20 salad, but there's marinated pork on your $20 salad, and it isn't even good, and you're not even wealthy. You need all your coworkers to think you're super healthy. So shake salad in the case. Shake it up and down and side to side in everybody's face. I can't believe how much you spent on a $20 salad. You won't even make a dent in a $20 salad.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, April 18th, 2025. This is The Drop. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, Melas.
Heard that line about shaking that salad. Was that cold open for Matty O?
Maybe.
That's a good one.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kerby.
Ayo.
Ayo. And over yonder, wrapping up his week-long pick-em payoff by wearing a different Disney costume every single day. Way to keep the bit going there. It's Eshawa Kid, a.k.a. Russell, from the 2009 movie Up.
Hi.
What's up, Russell?
I'm here to get my NBA playoff badge.
There we go. Can we get a look at the full fit? Because this is the best costume yet, I think. Where's Doug?
Doug's not here right now. I don't know where Doug is.
Okay.
I like that rope you got. Just in case you need to spelunk anywhere.
On a backpack there?
Yeah. Looking like Draymond Green shooting a jumper in a second with that. There you go. All right, that is a good one. So Ash, his final day here in Disney costume. I guess Pixar is owned by Disney.
That's right.
Check out?
Yeah, that's
okay,
right,
good. All right, so we got an action-packed show. I will remind everyone, though, or let everybody know, I guess, that we have a second show coming up later tonight, probably bleeding into Saturday morning. We got a late shift of the No Dunks pod because we're going to go on soon after the second play-in game ends when we know both 1-8 matchups. Maybe talk about the games a little bit, but more importantly, preview and predict those 1-8 series. So more dunks, more no dunks coming your way. Very, very late tonight. So obviously make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell button so you get notified when the guys are live. But on today's show, we're going to host our second ever Instigator Draft. We had some fun doing this last year. Yeah, let's throw some bows. Tack on
solid,
you.
Bro. You're feeling solid. I thought you were going to go farther.
I'm ready for the draft.
I got some random NBA trivia for these guys in regards to 40-point scores this season. And seeing as this is the drop, we'll end with some rapid-fire fun. But first, some big-picture playoff questions. We got 8 games on this weekend and the 2 play-in games tonight, so a whole lot of basketball. Here's the schedule for everyone. On Saturday, it's Bucks-Pacers, getting everything started at 1 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Clippers-Nuggets, Pistons-Knicks, and Wolves-Lakers is the nightcap on Saturday night. And then Sunday, we know 2 of the matchups, but it starts with the 8th-seeded Western Conference team versus the Thunder, and then we have the Magic versus the Celtics, the 8th seed in the East versus the Cavs, and then the Warriors-Rockets wraps up a very, very busy NBA weekend. So, like I said, some big questions for you guys. Play along in the stream team. Let's hear who you think for these questions. First one, breakout performer, TK. Who got your eye on here?
Well, in general, I think not a lot of new blood in the playoffs. As far as new teams go, it's the Rockets and it's the Pistons, and I'm picking a team or a player from one of those teams. Cade Cunningham, to me, is the guy who has the best chance at really turning himself into a household name, into being a complete superstar out there. A lot of it is he's playing against the Knicks. How nice is that their first playoff appearance in years is going to be in prime time? Like, they're not playing an NBA TV game. They are playing the 6 o'clock day 1 game. Yeah. All eyes on the Knicks and Pistons. And Cade has been awesome against the Knicks this season. 31 points per game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, great percentages. Kind of even better in Madison Square Garden as well. In the 2 games that the Pistons played in MSG, they won both of them. First 36-4 for Cade in a win, and then 29, 10 boards, 15 assists in a win. This is the Trae Young corollary. You show up in Madison Square Garden, have a great game, beat the Knicks even, if that happens on Saturday, instantly people are talking Cade Cunningham. So to me, he's the guy who could really put himself on the map this weekend.
It's hard not to be excited for Pistons Knicks. Cade going up against the Knicks, where they've won twice this season. Knicks fans will say, guys weren't even playing in those games. That's totally fair. Mm-hmm. It feels like the Knicks give up leads, and it'll go down to fourth quarter, late game execution. Cade against Jalen Brunson, I think, is somebody that everybody's sort of skipping over here the last month of the season. Nobody's really talking about a guy who executes down the stretch. I mean, that guy's had really good games, maybe because he was sort of injured in March. That being said, that guy could be the guy who closes things for a Knicks team. Again, they get up double digits. They like to give up those leads, and then bang, they finish it off with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. So, yeah, that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, and he's also going to be going against, like, incredible defenders, in theory. Cade, like, you're going to see OG matched up on him on times. Mikal Bridges, a lot of switching, at times going to happen with that team. So he's going to have to do it against really good defenders, too. But he could, and he's had an incredible season. I love that. I had him down as one of my guys. Who is the other guy on your list?
Another guy on my list would be Amen Thompson, and it's kind of similar to Cade playing in MSG. Amen Thompson is going to be guarding Steph Curry. And if you're going out there and doing defense highlights against Steph Curry, people are going to get fired up. During the middle of the season, I said said Amen Thompson was everybody's second favorite player. That's rare for a guy whose strengths are on the defensive end. On the offensive end, he's such an extreme athlete that he does get these crazy putbacks, elevates for dunks out of nowhere. He makes some offensive highlights too, but like watching Amen Thompson play defense is exciting, and I'm not a person who likes to watch people play defense, so if he's getting me fired up, new Andre Kirilenko mode out there, I love watching it. If he's able to shut down Steph, that is a feather in his cap and something that people will notice.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm also going to go with a guy whose primary job is on defense. It's Christian Braun. Deep cut Christian Braun of the Denver Nuggets against the Los Angeles Clippers, because he's going to have James Harden as his number one guy. And this is Christian Braun, first time starting in the postseason. Last year with the Denver Nuggets, he had Anthony Edwards on the other side in the second round series, but he wasn't the primary guy. He was coming off the bench, and it was KCP or AG, and Anthony Edwards was going off. That being said, I think Christian Braun guarded Anthony Edwards pretty well. If you dive deep into the numbers in that 7-game series, it was just 26 minutes, but he's a far bigger dude than he comes off as. He's a very strong guy, and Anthony Edwards only shot 4 of 12 in those 26 minutes. And on the offensive end, he's going to be pretty important. We will see what the Denver Nuggets can do against the Los Angeles Clippers. Everybody playing off Jokic. We'll see what Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. can do. But this guy is a most improved player candidate. He shot 58% from the floor this year, 40% from three. Those are some sexy numbers. 66.5 true shooting percentage, 15 points per game. And again, him against Harden is just an important part of this series. If he can neutralize him somewhat, the Denver Nuggets have a real shot, because they're going to score. They're going to score a ton. It's the defense that is the question. And Christian Braun, I think, is up for it. Again, 2 years as a backup, and that's why Calvin Booth said, all right, KCP, you're gone. Christian Braun has been really good on that end, even though the defense has been lacking for the Denver Nuggets. It's up to him. Now, I'm kind of just hedging my bet here, because I picked the Clippers in this series. But the Denver Nuggets could easily win this series.
That's a toss-up.
Yeah. And earlier this season, Christian Braun got into it with Anthony Edwards. He started clapping in his face. That didn't go well for him. Anthony Edwards went off. That being said, I think he's up for these moments, and that is why they have given him the starting role. So we'll see him against James Harden.
Can he slow down Game 1 James Harden? Who's usually on fire,
Game
right?
1 James.
Big Game James in Game 1. It's usually his money game, so we'll see here on the weekend. I went for breakout performers. One guy you already said. I sort of looked at guys that could be defensive studs, right? And shut down the opposition. Amen Thompson, that's a no-brainer. Can he do it again versus Steph Curry? Good luck with that. But man, this guy is built. This is the perfect type of guy you would build to try and slow. Hypothetically, Steph Curry, just in terms of his athleticism and his speed and that motor and defensive IQ and all that, and just the desire to play defense, as I've talked about. So Amen Thompson. Chris Dunn, along the same lines, him getting probably matched up on Jamal Murray in that series. Mm-hmm. Can he turn that off? He's not going to play 40 minutes, but he's going to come in there for 20 to 25 minutes and really try and just shut that down. And then Andrew Nembhard, I think, is a little interesting, what he can maybe give the Pacers offensively as well. I think he's a really important player for them. He's had some moments even already in some postseason success, some big games here or there.
Game winner last year.
Yep. And we learned that Damian Lillard has been cleared of his deep vein thrombosis and is no longer on blood-thinning medication. He's not going to play in Game 1 on Saturday, so, Nembhard won't be matched up on him. But they say, the Bucks, that he'll continue to increase his on-court basketball activity, Dame will. And ESPN reported, quoting Shams here, doctors have told Bucks officials that the speed of Lillard's recovery has never been seen before, but it occurred because of early treatment, detection, and specialists working on him before a formal diagnosis. So, look, what they're saying here is, you're probably going to see Dame. Now, again, not on Saturday, but he's going to very likely play in this series, and how that, I don't know if that changes your opinion on sort of how you went in this one. Now, you did have the Bucks. You were the one guy here that took them, so probably not. But, it'd be interesting to see what level he's even at when he does come back and what game he comes back.
Yeah, I like how the Bucks are playing it slightly slow. I mean, he did practice on Thursday. He played it 3-on-3 on Wednesday, so he is actually practicing because they could say, "This is our guy. You go out there and play." But they've won 8 games in a row right now without Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
The guy hasn't played in a month. So I think they're playing it smart here to bring him back, but not in Game 1. And I think they eventually will, because they're just too hot. They're literally, those 8 games that they've won were preceded by 2 and 4 over 6 games. So you don't want to mess around, man. Just go. Just go with Ryan Rollins as your starting point guard and let him go at Tyrese Haliburton. Let him slow things down, because that's not Dame's forte. And they've been playing well. That being said, I mean, they're kind of relying on a bunch of guys coming through beside Giannis.
Yeah.
They're hoping Kevin Porter Jr. is awesome. They're hoping Kyle Kuzma is awesome. They're hoping a lot of guys produce. So it is great news, obviously, that Damian Lillard is coming back to play basketball pretty freaking quick.
In theory, for sure. Yeah. Any thoughts here on this Dame news from yesterday?
Super surprising. I mean, Victor Wembanyama went out at the end of February, right? And as soon as he went out with his deep vein thrombosis, they're like, done for the season.
Yeah.
And that's not the case with Dame. Apparently, I heard Windhorst say today that he started taking blood thinners before they even diagnosed the deep vein thrombosis, so they caught it super early, I guess. I don't know. If he comes back, I'm guessing Game 3, just because it's in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think
It's a home
Tass
game.
might be right too. It also maybe depends how games 1 and 2
Could
go,
be, yeah.
Right? If you're down 0-2, then definitely Game 3. If you're split, are you still in a rush? If you're up, if you shock the Pacers and take both in Indiana, I don't think that's going to happen. But if you do, then really what? I mean, do you give him more rest and let him get into more basketball shape? Because that's the other part of it. He has missed a significant amount of time here. Regardless of the DVT and the concerns there, and they're going to clear him, so you think he's going to be okay, but he's got to get just back into the basketball speed. And you always hear all these guys say, you can't replicate it. You can't replicate it for regular season basketball, let alone playoff basketball, where it's a lot more physical and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
and it's been a month, like Tessa said, and it's going to be Dame will have to play defense in this series if he comes back. It's going to be thrown into the fire, but it's Dame Lillard. He can show up and play.
Yeah, he's Dame Lillard.
Any other guys you want to add to this list? Went through a lot there, but I love Cade as the superstar breakout potential.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, he might make All NBA third team here.
Another
too.
guy that made only got one line in my notes. Zubats buzz is at an all-time high.
Oh, yeah.
People are loving Zubats right now. He's getting Defensive Player of the Year votes. He's getting Most Improved Player votes. He's getting talked about as the second best player on the Clippers for the entirety of the season. Obviously, Kawhi would supersede James Harden as the number 1 guy if he was there the whole time, but he's part of their big 3, and he's going to be going up against Jokic, so kind of a spotlight matchup for him as well.
Yeah, I'm laughing because he's in the position, Zubats is, to be like Iguodala 2016 finals, where... Do I have the right finals? No. Which finals? The one where he wins MVP. That's
15.
Not it. 15, thank you. Where he slows down LeBron James or keeps him in check, and then you go look at LeBron's numbers and it's what? He did what now? But obviously he contributed offensively. Iggy did too, but that's where Zubats is. He could be a star in this series because they get to play him one-on-one, and then you could look at Jokic's box score from the series and it could be 30, 18, and 12, and you're like, hey, he did a good job. We won. So I think that's in play here. I like that pick as well as a breakout performer.
I know they've been pushing him as Defensive Player of the Year. There are people wearing the Zubats Defensive Player of the Year shirts. That's cool. People on their team, they're doing it. They're pushing it a little bit, but they're not pushing it a lot. Even you, a basketball nerd, We're like, okay, they're wearing the shirts. I haven't even seen them because they're not wearing them a ton. So Zubac isn't getting really the push that he could if they really wanted to. But they're playing it slow here, but they are going to play one-on-one. And it is going to be very interesting if he gets into foul trouble. Because I do think a key guy in that series who is a tiny bit banged up for the Clippers is Nicola Batum. Because they don't really have a backup center. No disrespect to my man Drew Eubanks, but going up against Jokic, that ain't gonna happen.
What about Ben Simmons?
Yeah, Benny, a little
He's been
too
the Nikola
small.
Jokic for the Clippers. When these have been getting revealed as the playoffs get closer and closer. Ben Simmons as the Jokic.
Who's playing Anthony Edwards for the Lakers in practice? Somebody sent it to us. And I'm drawing
Somebody
a blank
did
on
send it.
Was it? I don't think it was Gabe Vincent.
Was it Bronny?
Oh, maybe.
I mean, like, it's got to be a guard. I forget who it was.
Yeah.
It's funny to see, though.
But
Yeah,
Ben Simmons-
Zubac is healthy. Ben is not all that important as backup center, but who's going to play? And I do think Batum is important besides Drew Eubanks and Ben Simmons to get minutes. But Zubac's going to play his butt off. They did play once in the playoffs. That was a bubble series where the Clippers lost after going up 3-1. That was the Doc Rivers losing to Jokic. And Zubac, again, has played well against Nikola Jokic. Nobody plays Nikola Jokic great, but he's played him fairly well. One-on-one. They're going to play him one-on-one.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
And his whole thing is he does not foul a lot. We've brought this up. That's one thing that Zubac is really good at.
Very good.
For a big guy, he doesn't foul
Yeah.
a ton. So, and that's going to be important. He's going to have to play a lot of minutes against Jokic anytime he's out there.
Shake Milton and Bronny James split time.
That's
playing
okay.
the role of
Okay.
Anthony Edwards.
They split time.
No one man could be Anthony Edwards by
Wow.
themselves.
No, I like it. Okay. Next question here is a fun one. Tass, you get us started. Which team or player is under the most pressure in the 2025 NBA playoffs?
Well, I think it's Anthony Edwards because of the way that the Lakers are going to guard him. They're going to throw so many guys at him. He's just got to be smart and be able to dissect that defense. I mean, he's sort of under pressure, because Luka got him in the conference finals. Now he's playing him on another team. Now, Anthony Edwards was able to beat Kevin Durant last year, take out the Phoenix Suns. He beat Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets and the champs. And he couldn't overcome Luka. So this is a good storyline. Here you go, man. Do it now. And it is odd to hear him say, I've studied Luka to see how I'm able to dissect those defenses. And he's gotten way better at it. Like we've talked about, Skeets, you keep mentioning how he's just a little beat slow when it comes to the double teams, but he is reading that second layer, that third layer. I mean, they really finished the season really, really well. And I know basketball... The basketball world is just all Lakers, but this team was freaking awesome. 17-4 to finish those 21 games of the season, and the 4 losses were weird ones. The Obi Toppin game against the Pacers where he's banging home threes in overtime, and then the Wolves laid a dud against the Pelicans, and somehow the Pacers beat them again, and then they gave up a 24-point fourth quarter lead against the Bucks. So some weird ones there.
Those are their 4 losses.
Yeah,
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so he can read doubles, and he said that he's told the guys around him, like he's told Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, be ready to shoot often. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker said that Ant told him, this may not be the Ant series. They're going to double me. So you going to be ready, nah? That's a big question.
Guys, yeah.
It's a big question. If those guys can perform, we shall see.
Okay, big pressure on Anthony Edwards. Where are you going, TK?
I think Anthony Edwards is a good one. I think he's also going to guard LeBron some of the time for the Wolves, which is that's crazy. Like if he's guarding LeBron and being Luka on the other end, that's awesome. No wonder they had to use 2 guys to be him in practice.
They'll guard Luka too, I'm sure.
Probably.
They'll go at
a
it.
little bit. So yeah, big series for Ant for sure. I'm going with a team we haven't talked about at all, even though the playoffs are coming. The Thunder have pressure because they actually have expectations this year.
Yeah.
They are still in the playoffs. They haven't played. They won 68 games, and that's the thing. They're the 7th team ever with 68 or more wins. All of those teams made the finals except for the 72-73 Celtics. They lost in Game 7 against the Knicks, who went on to win the championship. So making it to the conference finals, I think, is the bare minimum for OKC. And if they lose in the conference finals, it's almost a disappointment. I don't know if I would go that far. It'll depend on how things play out. But this is a team that's going to have the reigning MVP, most likely.
Yep.
They don't have a ton of experience, but they have more than they had last year, where it was like, it's just cool that they got the 1 seed. Now they're going through their second time. They've got to really show up. They've got a team that is perfectly built. I think there's pressure on J-Dub and Chet to be the secondary scorer. If Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is taken out of things. I think there's pressure on Dort, Caruso, Joe, Case, and Wallace to hit their wide open threes that they're certainly going to get. So this is a Thunder team that kind of feels like they're out of the discussion right now because they dominated the Western Conference. They're probably going to have a pretty easy series in the first round, but the second round is where things really pick up for OKC, and I'm excited to see how they respond.
Yep, I have 3 teams on my list, and the Thunder is one of them, for all the reasons that you just said. They just had one of the greatest regular seasons in NBA history. I mean, they did when you look at point differential. Like, they broke the record. They set the record for most double-digit wins in NBA history. Just waxed teams this year. 54 double-digit wins. That is more wins than the second-place Rockets had in totality this season. Wow. Crazy. 68-14, best in franchise history. They likely are going to have the MVP be named at some point here in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, so they have home court advantage all 4 rounds. I'm with you. It's like, it honestly feels like finals or bust to some extent to me with this team. Like how dominant they've been. And, you know, for the most part, if everybody stays healthy, like their main players. So I got the Thunder. They got some pressure here. I have the Knicks in the East. I think there's some pressure on New York. I mean, they traded 7 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges and Karl Anthony Towns because they did those moves to like, hey, we're a good team. Let's ramp up here. Let's level up. Now you have really big expectations. They haven't done well against the elite teams in the league. They haven't done well against the teams that play defense in the league this entire regular season. Everybody knows they went 0-10 against the top 3 teams in OKC and then obviously the Cavs and Celtics. So I think they got some pressure here. They obviously got to get by the Pistons first, which is going to be a scrappy first-round series. And then they should be going deeper than they have, just making it to the second round. I saw James Edwards III wrote in The Athletic this week. He said, quote, "People always talk about the it factor. No one ever knows what that actually means, but they know it's missing when they see it. As a collective, it was absent in New York during the regular season." Do you agree with James' take on that? You know, that's that it factor on this New York team, or not? Do you think he's maybe exaggerating a little?
I don't know. I think there probably was more hype around the Knicks last year when they had all the Villanova guys, and there was probably even more hype when they brought in Mikal Bridges prior to the Karl Anthony Towns trade. But it's weird because you're like, what if they go to the second round? That's what the Knicks did last year, and they lost in the second round. And you go and look at who their opponent's probably going to be in the second round. It's the Celtics, who have dominated the Knicks this season, and they made their moves to be a more Celtics-like team to beat the Celtics, and they got blown out every game except for the game the last week of the season when nobody was playing. Yeah. So it feels very likely that the Knicks just kind of end up in the same spot they were last year. You're the third best team in the Eastern Conference. That's good, but it's not great.
No.
Yeah, I think Edwards covering the game sees that the Knicks give up leads and then finish teams off, so it just doesn't feel like they have that same oomph. Whether it's called it or whatever, it doesn't feel like that same team last season that was able to scrap it out against the Philadelphia 76ers. Can they win a first-round series against the Pistons, who are a scrappy team? Yeah. It feels that way. And they'll go into a second-round series against, this time, unfortunately, the Boston Celtics.
But they have to put up, even if they lose that, it can't obviously be a sweep, and it can't be dominated by 25, 30 points in every game. Not after making these moves. I'm sorry. There are expectations.
Sure. Yeah, last year against the Indiana Pacers in a very long series in that second round, they lost Jalen Brunson going down in that one. It just felt like that team was without the expectations, so they were young and scrappy, and they felt it. Now, they are a lot of the same guys. But sometimes in these Knicks games, again, they get up double digits. They just don't seal a game when they could. They don't put the foot on the throat. So I think that's kind of the it that James sees. And it's totally true. Yeah. We'll see what happens late game against the Pistons.
The final team I had, interested to hear your thoughts as well. The Bucks, I think, are under some pressure here. And that's like the zoom out big picture. Like if they lose here in the first round of the Pacers, and you have Giannis playing this time, and maybe Dame returns, be it games 2, 3, 4, whatever, but you lose to a really good Pacers team, which a lot of us are picking, and a whole bunch of people are picking Indiana. I think that actually watched a lot of Pacers games and know how good they've been over the last couple months. Yeah. That's bad, because that's, you do wonder if Giannis starts going, okay, this has been a long time now without a playoff series victory here, and maybe do you start getting a whole trade rumors? So I think there's just pressure from an organizational, like, ooh, damn, like we'd like to quiet that as much as possible. Do you agree?
Yeah, they haven't won a playoff series since 2022. Giannis didn't play in the first round last year, didn't finish the first round the year prior to that, so he's at least on my list of guys I'd like to see have a good run to be encouraged for going forward. But the Bucks are kind of in the same spot as the Knicks, where it's like, you're good, but we're not expecting a lot out of you. I think a first-round playoff series win would be awesome for
Right.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, lots of zone going to be happening against that athletic Pacers team. Giannis and some guys who can run around, and it's boded well. We'll see what happens. That helped them win 8 straight games.
A couple players on my list. We talked, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about Julius Randle. He could really have a nice playoff series or run here. That'd be good for him and his confidence and Wolves fans, because you had the numbers, like his percentages in whatever it was, 15 playoff games for the Knicks. Like it's like 37% from the floor for a big guy, like just absolutely brutal. So that's got to be better. We can move on from him. James Harden, he's got to be on this list. I mean, the Clippers, you said, hottest team in the league. He had an unbelievable season. Like, he might make an All-NBA third team here. He might be selected to that. He averaged 23, 9, and 6 in a lot of games for LA. And they're the number 5 seed. They exceeded most pundits' expectations as well. Like, a lot of people thought the Clippers might win 40 games, not 50 like they did. But the knock on Harden is always his postseason.
He's an up-down guy.
Lack of success. Yeah, he's up and down. So he doesn't have to be the number one guy. He does not need to score 30 or 35 a game, but he can't have these 2 for 15s and these turnover-prone games, and obviously maybe being a liability defensively at times. He's just got to be more steady, because he's the one guy where, like, he's the one superstar guy, I should say, like, his career playoff scoring average dips to his regular season scoring average, which is usually pretty rare because these guys get more minutes and they're superstars for a reason. And then Donovan Mitchell. I think he's under some pressure here. I mean, they're the number 1 seed. He is usually plays really well in big game situations. His numbers go up in the postseason. But, he needs a deep run in him, I think. Like, this guy a lot of times has only made it to the second round. Back with the Jazz, obviously with the Cavs. They need that conference finals run. And then maybe take on Celtics if it's a 1-2 matchup. So I think there's some pressure on him just in terms of going far in his career.
Seems like a forgotten guy right now.
Yeah. Yes.
The 1 seeds right now just feel like they are just waiting until the second round of the playoffs to actually start playing. Mitchell is good. Also on my list of guys who I think need to have a good playoffs are Darius Garland, who was not very good for the Cavs last year, but he's been a clutch monster this season. So he's up there. Franz Wagner, I think, is a big one for the Magic as well. You just like to see him play well against the Celtics. I'm not expecting them to win, but he didn't have a great postseason run last year. And like we said, Paolo was pretty solid. And then Alperen Şengün, I think, needs to be really good for the Rockets. It's their first time around, but he's going to be going up against Draymond Green. Draymond defended him awesome this season in the post, but I think Şengün can be an efficient offensive player for Houston, and they're going to need some half-court offense, so his post-ups are going to be big.
Okay. Anyone else? Tess? Dad? Final question then. Who's most ripe for a Game 1 upset this weekend? Of all the series, obviously as the underdog going into the series, who could pull out that Game 1 victory the most, you think?
Like a 5-4 series. Is it an upset? I don't know. It is. It technically is. But I mean,
doesn't really feel like
it wouldn't be surprising to see Giannis dominate the Pacers, right? They gave up a ton of baskets in the paint. Giannis scores a ton of baskets in the paint. The recipe is there. Play it slow. Give it to Giannis. If he knocks down free throws, surely he'll go to the line 10 plus times just because he'll have enough opportunities. They'll have to foul him at some point. If he can shoot, I don't know, like, what was he, 15 for 17 when they closed out the Suns way back in 2021 Game 6. We know he's got it in him. Giannis can win these games by himself. It's a matter of, can he do it 4 times? Can he do it 2 times before Damian Lillard gets back? Who knows? But I think Giannis certainly could pull off one of these wins this weekend.
Yeah. Do we think the Pacers fans will start immediately with the 10-second countdown when he steps to the line? Like, I know he has sped it up a little bit, but at times it still gets close to that 10-second mark. So I think you got to try it, right?
Yeah.
And you just do it fast. You just say it fast too. You count fast. 1, 2.
Yeah, 3, 4. They're not doing it real.
No. That's okay though. That's okay. That's the fans. That's what we're supposed to do. Okay, do you go with that one or another series?
Yeah, it's a great one. The weird thing is the Rockets-Warriors series has turned into the Warriors as the favorites.
Right.
So,
the Rockets are the underdogs.
Rockets win. If they win Game 1, that's an upset. Well, I do feel, we could see the Rockets somehow, some way, make sure the Golden State Warriors don't go to the line a ton, where Jimmy likes to go, where Jimmy makes things happen. I think they're just a good defense at staying solid and not necessarily reaching. And so they're great at that, and they're great at just not allowing all these passing lanes. So that could be an upset.
And absolutely could, because doesn't Steve Kerr, isn't his whole thing they always win like Game 1s? Is that Kerr's thing, I think?
Kerr's thing is that the home team in a series, usually wins game one. They're talking about the home team. And then in
but he
game two is the game that they can easily lose.
Oh, and maybe they always
Because
win a
you
road
get
game
up.
too. Is that the whole
They
thing?
do win a road game a lot.
Yeah.
They're
okay.
the championship team, yes.
Okay.
So I don't know. Is that an upset if the Warriors win game one in Houston?
No, I'm with you. I almost feel like if the Rockets win, it's
Yeah.
going to be considered the upset, as silly as
Yeah.
that is, despite being a really good regular season team.
Same thing with the Timberwolves, which is weird. Because, I mean, the Lakers are the home team.
Yeah.
Not as
so
much though. That to me would be like, I mean, they are the underdog in the series.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Wolves
yeah.
are.
Yeah, they are.
Whereas, like you already said, the Warriors are favorite to win the damn thing.
I will say, I am looking forward to watching the Dallas Mavericks tonight. I know it's crazy in the play-in tournament game because they do play extremely hard. They're extremely big, and I do want to see them play OKC. I'd rather see that, a team that beat them last year in the playoffs. They obviously had Luka and Kyrie in that series,
Yeah.
but they played them extremely well. And so
Didn't the
I want
Thunder
to see that
almost
on
drop
Sunday.
game one in last year's playoffs against the Pelicans? I think it went to overtime.
You might be right.
Yeah,
You might be
they
right.
just pulled it out if I remember correctly.
Round
But-
one, game one, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, those were against Dallas. They're obviously close games. Their bigs are playing really well. They're gonna have some momentum going into OKC on Sunday. Yeah, well, I doubt they can win, but that's a good matchup. I'd rather see that matchup than the Memphis Grizzlies matchup. And tonight, after we do that live show, after 2 play-in tournament games, I'll be so hyped to preview that series, just to watch what OKC can do, because they are under pressure. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
They should be under pressure as a 68-win team.
I'm going to go with the Pistons as most likely for a game one upset. I've been saying it for weeks, so I got to stick with that. I think they'll take at least one of those 2 games in Madison Square Garden and set us up for a really good series. So why not game one there at 6 o'clock on Saturday on ESPN? That one on ESPN?
Probably.
yeah.
It's the Knicks.
I was going to say something when you were reminding me about what you were just talking about, but now I drew a blank, so never
It's
mind.
okay, man.
Yeah.
Timberwolves, I think, can win game one as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's how, like, I guess obviously if 4-5 counts, of course the Clippers can win game
Yeah.
one. It's like, who can't win game one?
I don't have
Like
a
the
lot of confidence in
Magic?
the 8 seeds.
Okay, in the 8 seeds.
No.
All right.
Yeah, when you said 4-5 and asked whether or not that's an upset, I hoped you're talking about someone from the Eastern Conference, because it's like these Western Conference series. Again, it's besides OKC, whoever, it's Rockets, Warriors, Lakers, Wolves, Nuggets, Clippers. I mean, that's a coin flip in 3 series.
Yep. I'm with
Right.
you. It would not be all that shocking if all 3 of like the Rockets, the Wolves, and then like the Clippers are the ones that advance. And I know, like, you're like, okay, the Rockets are the 2 seed, but like it's very possible. And then the Thunder got to be there. I mean, the Cavs and Thunder are going through no matter who they play.
Yeah, there's 4 wins difference between those teams.
All right, let's get to the Instigator Draft. Now, this was inspired last year by a tweet that was going around by Cleveland HQ, who tweeted, "I already know this MF about to be annoying in round 1," and it was a photo of Mo Wagner, right? So this got us thinking, oh yeah, like he's very likely going to mix it up. Now, unfortunately, no Mo Wagner for the Magic this season, so he is not draft eligible. But we did our Instigator Draft last year. And here is the scoring system: 1 point for a technical, 1 point for a flagrant 1, 2 points for a flagrant 2, 3 points for an ejection, and 5 points for a suspension. I'll give you last year's teams just to refresh everyone's memories. Tass, you had Tatum, Bobby Portis, and Anthony Edwards. Trey, you had Luka, Rudy Gobert, and Mo Wagner. You did take him. And I had Patrick Beverly, who I think got a suspension or an ejection. I think he got me big points.
He was suspended at the end of that series.
For throwing the ball at a fan?
Yeah.
The ball
Behind
was
the bench or something?
Exactly. The
Right.
ball was thrown to him on the bench. He threw it up.
That's right.
Now, he didn't get suspended in that series.
But we
he
counted
was-
it, I think. Yeah. He did
5
get
points.
a suspension. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's why he can't come back to the NBA.
Yeah.
As soon as he comes back, he's suspended.
Yeah.
To go overseas.
Patrick Beverly, George Niang, and Yusuf Nurkic. Ooh, brutal Nurkic picked. That's what we thought the Suns might actually beat the Wolves. So that was brutal.
He got no points.
Is Niang getting drafted this time? I don't know.
We kept track of it. I know we were tied at one point, pretty late into it. I think you did beat me in the end. I feel like Tatum picked up a technical late, maybe in the finals even, that got you over the finish line.
I think so.
I think so too.
I had him listed in mid-May. So at that point, we were 7-7-4.
Yeah.
You, Beverly, Niang, Nurkic, BNN, I like to call them.
Oh yeah, right.
The Business News Network. They're all business. I had 7, TPE, Tatum, Portis, Edwards, the Teapot Exchange. They spill some tea. Listen, Not the best of names.
Okay.
Doncic, Gobert, Wagner, DGW. Do you remember your team name?
Dude's Gone Wild.
That's good.
Yeah, I
It was?
I had dogs. I had dogs gone wild. Yeah, just because they're. So Gobert had 1 tech there. Doncic had 3. Niang had the 1, and Beverly tech / suspension
Yeah,
had 6 points
that
for
was
you.
huge.
my Portis ejected in tech. He had 4 points, while Tatum had a flagrant and then a couple more techs.
Yeah.
So that got us to a 7-7-4 score at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know what it ended like.
I think you did pick up a tech. With Tatum.
I
think
had
you
it.
did.
I had an Anthony Edwards tech rescinded. I wrote down. I guess he had a tech rescinded. I had a -1.
We play by rules. Like once you get it, you get it. And if the league takes it back, I think it stays on your scorecard.
I guess
That's fair. Because it happened within the game. They decided then and there.
it's not what we did last year, but whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
We barely kept
Here we
track
are,
last year. All right, somebody help us out. We got some diehards out
It's
there.
on you,
Somebody
Leo.
really
Let us
keep
know, Leo.
track of this. Yeah, hey Leo, do something.
He's
for
the
once.
number 1 instigator in the stream
Yeah.
team, so he's got to keep track of all this.
Yeah, that's only fair. Okay, so let's draft our instigator teams here. And last year we just took turns each round. We'll do 3 again. Tass, you get us started this year. You got the number 1 pick. Where are you going, and what's your thinking?
Well, I picked Jason Tatum last year because I assumed he was going to the finals. He'd be around for 4 series. I'm going to go with him again.
Wow.
It may only be 3 series, maybe, if the Cavs take care of him, but he may also go 4 series. And again, last year, a flagrant on Levert's head in round 1. I guess that was round. Yes, he had a tech versus the Cavs. He had 2 techs versus the Cavs. Oh, sorry, that was round 2 against Levert. So I feel like the Magic may want to say, let's get under Tatum's skin.
Sure.
Yeah, so you'd be good for a tech or 2.
I mean,
yeah.
He's one of the leaders in technical fouls too this season. So okay, you're going Tatum.
Yeah.
Once again, this guy just keeping his dynasty here together.
That's smart. Like
It is
the
smart.
Celtics, you have to imagine, or at least go into the conference finals.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games
Lot
they're
of
probably
games.
going to play, and Tatum does pick up technical fouls, and they're all for going.
Yeah.
Like 80% of his texts are a clap at the ref.
He's
Yeah.
a clap man.
Yeah, he's a clapping man.
All right, Trey. Well, you're up next here. Where are you going?
Oh man, this is interesting. I want you got it. Somebody that's going deep and somebody that's going to rack up points. Give me Draymond Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Well, I gotta say, I was a little surprised he didn't go number 1 here. But then again,
You never know.
he could.
They can be
be
bounced
out.
in the first round, no doubt about it. But I'm just, he's going to get a flagrant at some point. He's going to be going against Dylan Brooks, who I'm sure will also get drafted.
Yeah,
maybe
just
next.
where? Yeah.
Quite possibly next, or at least in the next 2 picks. Will he get ejected? It's quite likely. Suspended? There's a chance. The longer the playoffs go on, the better chance there is of Draymond getting suspended.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, the Rockets, Warriors, it's a good series
Oh yeah.
because we know
Oh, yeah.
there's going to be battles.
I'm sticking with that series. I am going to take Dylan Brooks. I mean, you can see it now. Like, you can close your eyes and picture him taking a wild swing at Steph Curry's thumb that's already injured, and it maybe crossing a line or 2 or doing something that is going to get him racking up some points here. Because I'm playing the big points game. I'm going for home runs here. Hey, maybe the strategy is like the little singles and doubles here with all the techs and stuff like that, because it paid off for you last year. But I'll take I'll roll my dice on getting a 3 or a 5.
There you go.
With Dylan Brooks getting an ejection or a suspension, if not both. I mean, you can hit a lot of points there if you do it right.
Yeah.
If you got the right wild card.
Your system is the home runs. You went with Patrick Beverly last
and
year.
it did work. It scored me a lot of points.
One
but
round. He went home.
I screwed
mean-
up with the Nurkic pick. Should have just went with somebody that gets a lot of texts. So I'm tweaking my strategy
Tweak
here.
it.
But I got Dylan Brooks, so let's go another round. We'll start with Trey. Who you got?
Oh, okay. So I do want to get somebody that's going to pick up a lot of ticky-tack technical fouls. And it's a question mark for me because these 2 guys are going against each other in a first-round series. I'm running it back. Give me Luka Doncic.
Yeah, I knew you would.
Yeah.
Nice. That's smart. That's
Yeah,
smart.
he's a complainer.
Yeah.
He loves to complain.
I was taking him, a few didn't. So good stuff. Okay, I am gonna take. Now he doesn't complain all that much, but he does pick up some hard fouls because he plays hard. Give me Lou Dort. Oh, I got Team Canada going right
Nice
now.
one.
I got Brooks and Lou Dort, but yeah. They should be around for a long time. He should play
Yeah.
a ton of games. There's going to be incidences where he's mixing it up with the best player because he's like a linebacker. So I'll take Lou. with my second pick there, the second round.
Yeah, I mean, he gets into it, but he only had 6 techs this season.
Yeah.
He keeps it low. But it's you kind of want to take somebody from OKC because you figure they'll make it to the finals. I mean, you're playing the numbers
chill
game.
guys, though.
They are super chill.
Yeah, he's had 2 ejections this year, though. So, again, these are big point opportunities. I don't think he's going to get ejected.
He's their leader in techs. That's 6.
He is their leader in techs. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
There you
good.
go. He could step under a guy's foot
Yeah.
on a 3-pointer. That's an easy flagrant foul right there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I'm playing the numbers game here with mine. I don't know how long Isaiah Stewart's going to be around, but I'm taking Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah,
Had
okay.
to get drafted.
He had to get picked. Now he's kept himself in check a little bit more lately. It's been better, ? But at the same time, the league will suspend him even if something does,
that's
something
true.
does happen.
Might just get suspended for the entirety of the rest of the postseason.
They led their press release when he got into it by saying Isaiah Stewart did this, and it was based on his reputation. Joe Dumars wrote it, so he's sticking around on my team.
Okay.
I got Isaiah Stewart.
Okay, my final pick, a little risky because they could be out in the first round, but we talked up how he's got some pressure on him, and he's going to maybe get frustrated from a lot of doubles and aggressive schemes in the pick and roll, and who knows what happens. Give me Anthony Edwards.
Good one.
As my final pick. That's where I'm going to try and just rack up a lot of techs because he's one of the leaders, if not the leader this season.
He was
in
the leader,
technicals.
yeah.
Yeah. He was going to miss the last game of the season, and then that got rescinded. So he could
Yep.
play, yeah. Return to rescinder. So you have your final pick here, Tess.
Oh, interesting. It feels wrong not picking somebody from that Rockets Warriors series. I know Dre is picked.
Well, Dylan Brooks.
Yeah, exactly.
Draymond.
Oh, Dylan. Sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah, they both led.
Who's left? I guess you go, maybe Amen Thompson just plays physical. Steven
In
Adams.
that series, it's an absolute fun one.
I can see Fred VanVleet getting fined for complaining about officiating post-game.
Oh, he loves doing that.
He gets a lot of texts. Yep.
Yeah, there's so
He gets a lot of ejections. I think he's had 3 ejections this year. Fred VanVleet.
You might want to take Fred VanVleet.
I'm telling you.
Fred VanVleet's not a bad pick at all. Has anybody been taken from the Magic? No.
No.
Nope,
but
not yet.
Nobody.
You're going to get 5 games?
Yeah, you're gonna get
Maybe?
a quick 5 games. Somebody's gonna scrap with a Celtic.
You thinking Mo Wagner? Draft him off the bench.
Off the bench.
I mean,
Wow.
he's still going to get shown on the broadcast for sure.
He was wearing a polo on the bench the other
Yeah,
night.
yeah. If there's a skirmish, he'll leave the bench.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Here's a weird one. I'm taking Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. But you never know.
Wow, that is a weird one.
Okay, why not?
He has a lot of texts, I think.
He's got, that's why I took him.
Yeah.
12 texts this season.
Okay.
Okay.
I would never guess that he had that many texts.
Yeah.
So that's strange, but
Somebody's got to
vet.
fight. Somebody's got to fight for the Magic.
All right, Trey, final pick here of our Instigator Draft 2.0.
Board's drying up.
I
I don't know who to go with here.
Dead dry.
I want a team that I know is going to be around for a while. So I want a Cleveland Cavalier. Their high-tech guy is Darius Garland, who just seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
DG, GD, good dude. Who else is available? Like Karl Anthony Towns? He's a tech picker-upper for
bad
sure.
one.
Cade picks up techs. John Morant, we're not even sure he'll be there.
Josh Hart, maybe? Does he pick up a decent amount?
Jay Hart, probably.
Yeah.
I think Cat was their leader. I'm going to go Darius Garland.
Jeez.
I'm going with
Two wild card
I'm going
picks
with
at
the good
end
dude.
for you
I'm going with the good dude. He's going to get upset.
He's going to
I'm just playing the numbers. He did get, I think he was like maybe 6 or 7 technical, so not a ton, but I just think they'll play a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll recap our teams here for the Instigator Draft. Tass has Jason Tatum once again, Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, and then Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, which was a bit of a wild card there. Trey, your team is Draymond Green, Luka Doncic, strong start there, and then Darius Garland. Good dude, Darius Garland. My team, I got a couple Canadians and then a superstar. I got Dylan Brooks, I got Lou Dort, and I got Anthony Edwards. All right, I feel good about my team.
That sounds nice, actually.
I need the Rockets to upset the Warriors. I think is what I need to happen.
Okay, question for you. I'm seeing a lot of people in the stream team suggesting picking like Ime Udoka. Would you allow choosing a coach for the 3rd round pick?
I mean, yeah, sure. Coaches get a decent amount of texts. That's actually
Definitely, yeah.
sort of
Like it's almost a strategy at some
yeah,
point.
that's smart.
You gotta stop the run here.
Oh yeah,
Doka and Missoula are the big picks here for potential coaches who are mad. And we did hear back from Leo. We asked him to keep track of this for us, and he says, "Instigate D's nuts." So playing to his
right on
strengths.
brand. Great. All right, I got some trivia for you guys. About 3 months ago, I mentioned here on the podcast that the Washington Wizards had already allowed 8 players to score 40-plus points on them. So we made a short out of it and everything. Okay. It was really fun. And this little tidbit caught the eye of Ibrahim Exki on Blue Sky, who decided to check the final numbers now that the regular season is over. So Ibrahim here has some fun numbers for you guys. He's happy to report that the clutch 41 points that the Wizards allowed Jaime Jaquez Jr. in the last game of the season allowed the Wizards to keep the number 1 spot on the list. So they were a game ahead of the Pistons. The Wizards allowed 10 different 40-plus point games against them in the regular season. Pistons finished second with 9. Pacers, Jazz, and Cavaliers all tied for 3rd place with 8. I thought that was a little perplexing. Obviously, one of the better defensive teams in the league. The Wizards still led the league for the 2nd straight season, but they had lower such games. So they gave up 10 this season, like I said, 13 last season. So they were improving in terms of shutting down 40-point performances against them. In fact, the overall number of 40-plus point games in the league has declined for the 3rd season in a row. 39 games this season, 162 last season, and then 203 in the 22-23 season. So it's gone down, down, down. Here's where we start getting into the trivia. An interesting fact that he had, the Thunder and Pelicans were the only teams to not have allowed a single 40-plus point game to an opposing player.
One of those makes sense.
The Thunder makes sense. Yeah. He even said the Pelicans? Like, weird.
Weird, yeah.
Very weird. The most OKC allowed, 38 points to Fred VanVleet. And the most the Pelicans allowed, twice it happened, 39 to Michael Porter Jr. and 39 to Jalen Brunson. So, yeah, that's very strange. Okay, but here's the trivia. 55 different players scored 40-plus this season, but 4 teams did not have one. Do it. Can you name the 4 teams that did not have a guy score 40-plus points in a game this season?
All right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Did a Raptor do it?
Yeah, there you go, Tess.
Yeah, I got to go Raptors.
Good call.
Yeah.
The Toronto Raptors did not do it. RJ Barrett had 39.
You got close.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
Okay. 3 more teams.
Bulls confirmed did, for sure.
Yep.
I assume Cleveland did. Boston, I'm sure, did. 2 guys score 40 once.
playing some Utah Jazz. Doesn't feel like they did it.
There we go, Tass. Lowry Marketing.
I don't know why I'm playing
Jazz violin.
jazz violin of all instruments. Should have just done jazz hands.
Lowry Marketing and Keontae George had 35. So that's where they maxed out. So good call. So Raps, Jazz, 2 more teams. I'll tell you, one is a playoff team and one is not.
One is a playoff team, one is not a playoff team. Orlando probably did.
Yeah, Orlando did. Didn't Paolo go
Denver
for like 50
definitely
early in the season?
Clippers have a 40-point game. I would guess so.
Yep.
Minnesota, yeah.
It's weird that a playoff team doesn't have
Yeah, the
one.
playoff team's fascinating. And
Pacers?
Pacers, I was going to say, they're a high-scoring team,
yeah.
too.
Beauty.
Benedict Mathurin, 38. I know.
Okay.
Very odd.
Nice.
And then one more team didn't make the playoffs. You know, they had a good season, though.
Spurs?
No. You're close, I would say, in terms of like where they are.
Blazers?
Blazers. Scoot Henderson, 39.
Okay.
No, 40-point game from like Anthony Simons or something like that.
Interesting. Nice.
All right, and then the final part here of this trivia. The Knicks, Celtics, and Lakers are the only teams to have had 4 different players that scored 40-plus points. I want you to name all 4 guys for each team. So the Knicks, 4 guys to score 40 in a game.
Brunson and Towns.
Correct?
Bridges and OG.
There we go. That
Nice.
one, no problem. Celtics, give me the 4 guys.
Tatum and Brown.
Yep.
Derek White and Peyton Pritchard.
There we go.
Same
Very
game,
nice.
same game.
That's right. And then finally the Lakers, 4 guys.
LeBron.
Correct.
That guy.
Luka.
That
Correct.
AD.
Correct.
guy. That guy.
And Austin Reeves.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40-point game.
Yeah, nice.
Yep. There you go. You nailed it. So
Nice.
thank you to Ibrahim there for
great.
coming through on some 40-plus point game trivia this season. It's always fun to do. I just thought it was interesting how like the numbers have gone down. At least in we had 203 games in 22-23 where a guy scored 40-plus.
Yeah, I need it.
Or like a game where a guy scored 40 plus. That's crazy.
It is weird that
1 out of 6 games, basically.
that it's dropped from last year.
Yeah.
When
There's
the
too much
3 balls
defense
have
in the
gone up.
NBA.
Yeah. Maybe.
People are always complaining too much defense.
Yeah, defense catching up. All right, well, this is the drop. So before we go, some rapid fire fun. We got Russell from Up answering the questions as well. So, TK, what do you got for us?
In an article by Fred Katz on The Athletic this week, Bruce Brown revealed that Nikola Jokic used to find him on the court just by listening for the sound of his voice. Like a bat. Echolocation is what he was using. Sonar.
Right.
Fellas, what's your most animalistic trait, Skeets?
I went with my sensitive nose,
Yeah, good nose.
like an elephant or a bloodhound. Yeah, I do have a good nose.
Somewhat different noses, I feel like.
Well, different noses, but both they have very strong sense of smell.
Sure.
I mean, elephant, bit of an advantage. It's got like a 7-foot trunk. Like you better have good smell, right?
You better.
Bloodhound dog. Yeah, I do. I mean, JD can attest to this. Like I'll walk in here like something's off right away. Like I know a food's been cooked, or I know like something's like been left in here. So I think I have a pretty sensitive nose.
You got a favorite smell?
I like the smell of grass.
Fresh cut grass?
I
Yeah,
do
it is
love the
nice.
smell.
Very
like
good answer.
Like a tennis ball too. Smells like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great smell. The old a baseball field doesn't smell. Nothing smells like a baseball field. Ideally, it's fresh grass.
Right.
Yeah, I'm thinking more kids baseball fields rather than a professional baseball field. Oh, feels great. Mine is that I like to be cornered, back against the wall. I'll turn up I'll give the noise. No, I do like doing things at the last second. I like doing my projects overnight. If I have something to write, something to do, I will wait up all night long and do it then. The last second, back against the wall. It's got to be done then. I just don't like to get advance of things. So yeah.
Deadlines, yeah, they're important.
Put me in a corner.
Good one.
Put baby in the corner.
I never knew that's why. Russell, what's your most animalistic trait?
Well, speaking of animals, I have a dog named Doug, and we have a snipe named Kevin. But in terms of this question here, I think I'm like Skeets, especially before the pandemic. Really strong nose, could smell anything. I knew if you farted across town, like
Me specifically?
No. I'm saying like I could just tell. I had a great sniffer. Post COVID, it's finally starting to come back. For a long time, everything smelled the same. Like if something was stinky, it had a very it was the same smell for everything. And then if something smelled good, it was the same smell for everything. But depending on the smell is the strength of the smell. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So it's starting to come back, though.
It's starting to come back. I'm finally getting there. Not at this particular moment, a little snotty, but yes.
Yeah, you're a little congested for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You think it's your strongest sense, though? Like you can smell better than you can see or hear?
I mean, I got the 20/20, but
Jeez, okay.
yeah, that's about it.
You're young still.
Yeah.
It'll go.
What's your favorite smell?
My favorite. It's tough. That's a tough question.
You're not just thinking about it constantly?
No.
I mean, I think fresh bread smells amazing.
Yeah, like a bakery.
Yeah.
What about a particular brand of a cologne or parfum?
Drakkar Noir. Jupe? Jupe is my favorite scent. Gasoline? Come on.
Gasoline is really good. I was about to say it's gonna be a
It's really good.
little simpy, but my wife always smells really good. Pretty always smells good. So you walk in the house, I'm like, oh yeah, she's here. I go find her, just like the cartoon. Just
You would know this more than anyone, Ash, because you have so many. A fresh baby's head.
Oh yeah.
That smell rocks, man.
Yeah, yes.
Wait, what do you mean? A fresh baby, like straight
I
from
mean, just a newborn baby,
newborn,
like a fairly new baby.
I didn't know if you meant like
they
a
got
new
the
baby
best smell in the world.
or out of the shower or something.
No,
like
no. I mean, just a baby's head.
Fresh out the oven.
Delicious.
Fresh out the oven. Yeah.
Fresh out the oven. Yes. Just like bread.
A tweet this week confused golfer Marty Fish for Luka Doncic. There's a golfer named Marty Fish. When Fish saw the tweet, he responded, "Yeah, that's not Luka, and I'm going on a diet immediately." Ooh. He was sitting next to Steph Curry. People thought it was Luka.
I mean, it did sort of look like him.
Yeah, they have similar,
It did.
like, haircut, beard looks,
Yeah. Yeah.
But guys, what's a celebrity comparison you've received that you wish you hadn't?
Probably the most devastating comp. A lot of people were pointing out, I guess photos were going around of a young Greg Popovich. And they were like, wow, it looks like you. And I'm like, yeah, damn. Ouch. So that one hurt. And that is the question here that I wish I hadn't got. But recently I just got a comparison on Twitter. Somebody said, oh, I didn't know you were pitching for the Braves. And it was a photo of Spencer Strider.
Okay. A little.
You can see it a little bit.
A little bit.
Your beards are similar, I would say.
Yeah, he's got the patch on the
beard.
side. Yeah, for sure. So, he's good, right?
He's very good.
Yeah, I think he just returned against the
Yeah,
Jays.
He's got much bigger thighs than you.
Oh, I
You guys
did.
got
Yes,
thick thighs.
I do not have thick thighs, so that's where we differ. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tass, you probably
Similar
got-
heights. He's an undersized guy.
Is he
pitcher.
really?
Yeah. He's a little guy. I think, I don't know.
what's little for a pitcher nowadays? Like he's under 6 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's small. He's back though, baby. He was injured for a full year. How tall is he? He says he's 6 foot, but
He's
not
not.
6 foot.
He's probably my height.
Yeah.
He's probably like knocking on 5'11".
Yeah.
That's right.
For me, it's John Stamos. Everybody says, oh, yeah, John Stamos, oh, he loves Greek yogurt. You're Greek, you must like Greek yogurt. I will never endorse the brand of Oikos. It ain't a good Greek yogurt. It is not. I will go. Give me a Faye, anything else.
Yeah.
Give me a Skotadakis. What the hell is that one called? I forget what that one's called. As I say it. Yeah, Skotadakis. I mean, any Oikos is just a commercial one. Just get it out there. I'll take a Chobani, which ain't all that.
Whoa.
Yeah, ain't all that great.
That was low level.
I was excited to ask you about Chobani. I didn't know it was
Yeah,
so
it's-
frowned upon.
Yeah, it's not. It's frowned upon for sure. Faye, Fage. That's the one.
That's the one. Ash, how about you?
I don't know if I have an answer for this. I can't think of any time that I've been comparing. I've been thinking about it for 2 days since I saw these questions. I have no idea. So tell me, who do I look like?
Well,
Yeah, let's hear it from
I
the
think you
stream
look
team.
like Russell right now from up. So I think you're nailing it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I got Prince with the wig.
Yeah. There was a lot of Rick James.
Rick James,
Yeah,
a
that
pimp
was
named
funny.
Slickback.
Yeah.
All that. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who you. Does anybody have a good comp for him?
I'll tell you
For
what.
actual Just Ash, not
When-
in costume.
When I was in the 8th grade, and of course I was a lot smaller, but in the face, people were like, "Oh, you kind of like Dwight Howard." I never saw it, but I ran with it for like a year or two.
We'd have to see your face. We'd have to see your young face.
Yeah,
Pull up a
we'll
picture
get
later.
a photo, yeah. Okay, well, let's let the stream team maybe give some Esh comparisons.
Oh, a lot of people are saying Russell from Up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Somebody said Mace.
Mace.
Look like-
Mace the rapper?
Yeah.
Or Mace the Jedi?
No,
okay, Mace the
I
rapper.
think
I guess
Mace
it's the
the
rapper.
rapper.
I would assume it's the rapper.
Got 24 hours to live. All right. Well, let's keep the suggestions coming for Esh here.
It's WrestleMania 41 this
Oh
weekend.
my-
The grandest of them all! 2 nights.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
there's no
nights.
way to watch this.
Yeah,
weekend.
this is the worst weekend
Worst
of all
possible
time
weekend.
for us to put WrestleMania on.
Yeah.
The worst.
Hockey going on. Come on.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Drysidle's back, huh? Was he out? I don't know. He sat out.
Oh.
Anyways, the question: what's your gimmick? Your wrestling gimmick, Skeets.
My wrestling gimmick, I guess it would. I don't know. I'd be the podcaster. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Like I'd be a heel, no doubt. And like during my matches, like, I roll out of the ring and like do like an ad read for like MeUndies or something like that, and then roll back in. And then like my finishing move would be called like the mic drop or something like that. Like there's a lot of things I think you could do with it. So some sort of podcasting angle that I'm like doing a podcast while I'm in the wrestling match.
That's a great idea because like Piper's Pit was sort of like a TV show,
Yeah.
right? Like Liv Morgan, I think, had something similar where you show up and do an in-arena or like an in-ring bit before it all goes haywire.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
So something with that.
The
The podcaster.
Yeah.
Striking fear in the hearts.
That's right.
Of advertisers. Tess.
There was Piper's Pit. There was Brutus Beefcake.
He
He had his hair salon thing.
yeah, there was a salon at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
There was Brother Love. He had I don't know what set his was. What was it? I
don't
even
know. Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah. They tried some stuff. I would try just smelling my pit. I know this is a weird one, but I would do
The Pitcaster.
the pitcaster. Sure. Yeah. I put it up to my nose. I'd do a smell. I'd do a reaction every single time. It would be different. Like it would, you could give a staunch face. You could give a, whoa, that smells good, a smile. So basically, every time I'd get a microphone. That's my gimmick. Every time a microphone would come in, I'd get asked the first question. I wouldn't answer. I just smell a pit. Give some sort of stupid look. And we're off. That's not a bad
Did
gimmick.
George the Animal Steel maybe do that? He was like a weird, like monster sort of dude.
It's hard to think of a guy who was like a stink.
Yeah.
Stink forward.
I'm surprised that it's not been done.
Yeah, like Mankind was a little bit there. He would stick that disgusting sock in your mouth.
Oh,
or
nasty.
it's almost the opposite of Rick the Model Martel,
Yeah, that's
who
right.
smelled
He
good.
had perfume. He had like the big perfume like gun or something.
But
whatever it
like
was.
your elbow drop would be sweet. You land on him straight.
Oh yeah,
pit.
like you sniff
That'd
your
be cool.
pit in midair, like.
Oh, that's classic.
Good. I smell good though. Sea salt. Shout out to Native Deodorants. Ash, what's your gimmick?
They call me Big Magic in honor of all this stuff from this week. I'd be like a split personality Disney person, like I'm just going around, I'm dropping all kind of Disney moves on them. I'm dressed as different people, I'm embodying their personalities, right? And then my finishing move, it would be called the Miska Muska, you know what I'm saying? Or Muska Miska, how'd you say? I don't know how it is. But anyways.
Moose,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Miska Muska.
What is that from?
The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I dropped the Miska Muska on them, and then I finish out with like I do a little hot dog dance on top of them.
Okay, this is all good. I like it
Little
though
hot dog
because
dance.
like if your whole gimmick is like we don't know what type of Disney character you're gonna be. Like you might be a fun, joyful one,
Right.
But then you get like like whatever Star Wars, like sort of like
Exactly.
crazy, like
Exactly.
scary person. Okay, that's good. Okay. Wow, we just did some gimmicks for WrestleMania 41. Maybe you'll see us this weekend. All right, that's rapid fire. Sort of rapid this week. Not bad. That's the drop, though. Hopefully it was a classic. You tell us. Hit the like button, subscribe. Podcast listeners, 5-star ratings and reviews. If you missed any of our previews that we did earlier this week, we clipped them all. They're all up on YouTube, so you can go watch all 6 of those that are currently up. And then later tonight, some of the guys jumping on late night, like after that final Mavericks Grizzlies game. We'll have a podcast talking about those games and looking forward to the 1-8 series, and then a whole bunch of basketball on this weekend. And the guys are back on Monday. I'm not going to be here with you guys. At the exact time you guys are going to be starting, I'll be running the Boston Marathon once again with my buddy Jared and Kyle, and I'll be up in Boston. So if you're out there in Boston, come give me a beer on the course.
You don't want to zoom in?
Yeah, you're gonna have a
running?
tracker or something while you're
Yeah,
running.
I'll get the tracker. Yeah. I'll get everybody my bib number. I
go
mean, it's not going to go well this year. I had bad training. I'm hoping the weather's looking pretty good. Like it's not going to rain this year. So
There you go.
yeah.
I do feel like this has been your most low-key training.
This is going to be
It's just like a casual Boston Marathon for you.
Yeah, this is. I'm in for a world of hurt. This is not going to be fun. But maybe we'll try and make it fun.
What time's start time?
I think I'm about 10:10. Maybe with that wave. 10:15, something like that.
Yeah, they just. What's
all
the first
staggered.
wave?
The elites go a little bit earlier. But they do. I think they have like military men and women start like super early because they sort of walk it maybe, and then wheelchairs start at some point, and then the elite people. They like take off before us, but you can see them. You're like, oh, there they go.
There they go.
I'll catch up with you later. Anyway, you guys will be here is the whole point of that on Monday to maybe play a little It's Just One Game, but there will be some overreactions to game ones from the weekend, so make sure you join the guys. Ash, great job. Let's get another look at you. I like this one. You happy with this one, or what was your favorite from the week? What'd you say?
That's a great question. I like this one. This one is fun to just be silly, I guess. But the one yesterday was kind of fire. Like after being
Cruella
Snow
de Vil?
White, and then doing Cruella, and like I said, getting all the Rick James and Prince and Pimp stuff.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Okay. Well, great stuff. You're a good sport, and it's just a lesson learned. That's why you don't bet. But I'm glad you finally lost one.
Yeah, that was good.
One bad month, man.
I know.
Bad
It's all it
month.
takes, though. It's all it takes to pay it off. All right, guys. Until Monday, or later tonight, I should say, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, we need some celebrity comparisons for Esh, but I will show you or fill you in on what the people were saying. Esh, Donovan McNabb, Donovan Mitchell, and a young Dwight Howard.
Well, they see it. I looked at it and it was just let's name this black guy.
Yeah.
So
What about Donovan McNabb? What about Donovan McNabb?
I don't
think
see it.
I saw
at
Donovan
all.
Mitchell in there too, and I'm like,
No way.
I don't see it at all.
way.
no.
Dwight's the best of those three. I sort
agree.
of can understand. Yeah, but,
I agree.
Yeah.
all right, we'll get some better ones over the weekend. Enjoy the playoffs, everybody, and we'll see you later tonight after the playing games. Brace the day.